Hey guys, Avi here, and welcome back to our Swift series. In this video, we're going to cover arrays in Swift. Now, let's say we're going shopping, okay, and we have our own shopping list, and I need to get a couple of fruits, bananas, apples, oranges, you know the deal. Now, one way I could do this is I could go ahead and create multiple variables. I could say var item 1 is equal to apples, okay? Var item 2 is equal to oranges, so on and so forth, and that would be my list of items. However, that's not very effective, it's not clean, we're writing a lot of code, creating a lot of variables, it doesn't make sense. So that's why arrays come into being. Arrays are basically a list of values that are of the same type, okay? So if all of our objects in a list were strings, okay, in this case, which they are, we could create a list of strings or an array of strings, okay? So let's go ahead and do that, and then I'll explain how arrays work. So let's go ahead and just say var shopping list is equal to, and then what you do is you need to go ahead and create two square brackets, okay? So your square brackets are again with the curly braces, so just if you shift the curly braces, you'll get the square brackets, and in these you're going to go ahead and create your shopping list. So I have three items, apples, oranges, and bananas, okay? And what's amazing about arrays is that all of your items are ordered. So that's the biggest thing about arrays, is that if I want to access this first item, that's the first index in my array. And what I can do is I can say print out shopping list, and then after shopping list to specify what index, I'm going to go ahead and say in square brackets 0. So that's one thing about arrays that you guys have to remember, is that the indexing in arrays in almost every single programming language starts with 0. So this is item 0, this is item 1, this is item 2, and so on and so forth. You guys are counting by 1, 2, 3, 4. However, in programming languages, all counting starts at 0, so you shift it down by 1. So if I want to get the first item on my list, apples, I say shopping list, and then in square brackets, 0. I get apples. If I want to get the third item, I say 3 minus 1 in my head, and I say 2. So I'm going to go ahead and say print shopping list 2, bananas, there we go. Fantastic. So that's the gist of an array, okay? You create it with square brackets, you put a bunch of stuff in, that is your shopping list. Now my mom told me, hey, go ahead and get milk as well. So to add milk, I need to add a value, and that value is the append function. So shopping list dot, and then if you notice if you say dot, you see all these different functions, all these different things you can do. I'll go ahead and cover a few, but for now we're going to do the first one up top, which is shopping list dot append. And instead of saying contents of a sequence, just go ahead and say dot append and then milk, okay? So now if you print out shopping list, we're going to go ahead and see over here, give it a few seconds to run. Let's view it, and we see apples, oranges, banana, and then over here we have milk. Fantastic. So that is our new shopping list, okay? We appended a value, and that's how you add new values to your shopping list. Now going back to our shopping list over here, let's go ahead and just print it out and hit the dot key. Dot gives us a whole bunch of functions, and one of the ones that I want to talk about is a count function. So shopping list.count gives us how many values there are in the shopping list. So right now we get 4. And this is very effective when you want to iterate over something, or if you want to figure out how many true values are there, and then if you want to get the index of, let's say, the last value, I could say shopping list, right? Shopping list.count minus 1. So this will always get me the last value of my shopping list. But there has to be an easier way to get the first and last item in my list. And the way to do that is by saying shopping list.first, okay? Shopping list.first, that's actually going to give me a string, so it's going to be an arrow over here. So if I say shopping list.first, I'll go ahead and get the first value in my array. And that should be apples. Let's give it a few seconds over here, okay? And now if I say shopping list.last, I get the last value in my shopping list, okay? So again, those are two very nifty features that Swift has. I'll go ahead and put the count back there. So these are again 4 different functions with arrays. We have append, we have count, we have first, and we have last. Now if you want to clear your shopping list, you can use the remove all function. So shopping list.remove, if you want to remove a specific item, you can specify the location. Okay, we already have apples, I don't want to have any more apples. I'll go ahead and say remove at index 0. And that will remove apples from my list. So if I print out shopping list, I'll go ahead and see oranges, bananas, milk. Okay, give it a few seconds over here at the bottom, and we should see oranges, bananas, and then milk. Great. And now if I go ahead and say shopping list dot remove all, I'll go ahead and remove every single item in my list, and I'll have a blank list or a blank array, as you can see over here. All right, fantastic. So we discussed the append, the count, the first, the last, the remove all function. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to create an empty array. Let's just say that I want to have an array, and later on I'll get some values I'll append to it, but I want the variable to exist as an empty array. So the way you do that is you say var new array, and set this equal to your type in brackets. So I'm going to make this an integer array. Okay, so var new array is equal to, in square brackets, int, but I also have to specify these brackets after it. So var new array is equal to int. This creates a new integer type array. And I can go ahead and later on say new array dot append 5, new array dot append 6, doesn't matter what. But this basically shows you how you can create a blank array. Okay, if you don't have any values to initialize it with, you can always create a blank array and then append various values to it. Alright, fantastic. Now one last thing I want to show you guys with arrays is that how do I change a value? Okay, so let's say if I print out my new array right now, I'm going to go ahead and get 5 and 6, right? That's what it is. What if I want to update the second value of my array to be 10 now? How do I do that? Well, just how we accessed and printed out the value, what you can do is you can say that whatever item is in the first position in my array, and remember, it's confusing, but first position refers to the second object in my array. So whatever object is in my first position, go ahead and set that value to be 10. So now if you go ahead and print out new array, print new array, you're going to go ahead and see 5, 10. Fantastic. So quick recap of arrays, guys. They're very, very useful. In any sort of app you make, any sort of programming language you have, you will be using arrays somewhere, okay? Their core concept is they're a list of items, right? You have the same type of items, and you can append to it. So you have the append function. You have the count function, which tells you how many there are. First and last gets you the first and last items of your list or array. And the remove functions give you, hey, if you want to remove an item, you can remove it by a specific index, or you can remove all of them. To create a blank array, you specify the type, and then you just place empty parentheses after that, and that will create a blank array for you. And you can go ahead and modify a specific item at a specific location in your array by specifying that location and updating the value. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.